What was the first thing you done when you got that paycheck?
I went and got an Audi R8. But
Let me zoom. The 4 rings.
And best player you've played against?
the toughest opponent was Coutinho when he was doing madness at Liverpool. I couldn't get near him. Got a bit of purpose at the moment is to give back. You know, I've been there. Listen, I've had suicidal thoughts.
Yo, it's your boy H. Fill Out the Sauce, Harry Pinero, and welcome back to the Inside Scoop. Of course, I'm joined by Culture Cams, but it's not about him today. It's about the one and only Manchester's very own Danny Simpson's in the building. Yeah, so I spoke with Danny on the phone. Actually, we did a Man United Foundation thing a few weeks back in Manchester, which was really good.
Was my invite, by the way?
Oh no, basically we sent it in the post. Okay. But yeah, you know how Royal Mail are these days.
I'm not big enough yet, man.
No.
It's cool. I keep working hard.
But it was sick because obviously that's the club that Danny's played for, team that I support, and obviously you support Cams, and it was just sick to be able to give back. And I said to Danny, I was like, with your story, I'd love to, get you on the podcast. And he's a man of his words, literally with no hesitation. He rolled through to the studio today, which brings me to my next question. Obviously, we was there at the club. We love that club dearly. Yeah. How would you say the club is right now at Man United, in your opinion?
Obviously, it's not in a great place. I think we all know that. It's been like that for many years now. I feel like it looks like it's going the right direction. And then, for whatever reason, it's like one step forward, 2 steps back. But I believe in the manager. I think last season, if you look at it, we probably maybe overachieved. Yeah. And I think sometimes you can be, once you've had that success, then expectations are there. It's Man United anyway, so you can always have expectations, but I think this season's obviously been difficult. I'm hoping the Fulham win will kickstart the season. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I think it's the right manager. I think he's trying to bring the right ethics to the club, what it used to be under Sir Alex. And so hopefully it doesn't happen overnight, and hopefully it can slowly change.
So you currently at the club at the moment, right? You're coaching at the club, or you're doing, or did you get your badges and stuff already? Or?
Yeah, so I'm doing my badges, but like I said, the club have been great for me. Like I said, when you finish football and stuff, it's you don't know what you're gonna do. You get a bit lost, but they've been in with the 21s. Great kids. I'm watching and just seeing how good they are. To be honest, just like obviously we got the first team, but just the kids that and I've been there. So it's like when I'm speaking to them, I'm like, and it just brings back mad memories of being at Carrington in the same building, in the same pitches, and I'm looking at these kids going, listen, I know where you can go if you want. So yeah, I'm just learning, watching everything they're doing, meetings, just like all the details that they do now, all the data they get. I'm just literally a sponge taking it all in.
Football's a lot different now. It's not just lump it route one. Into the big man. Now you got to really know ball innit to coach. But like obviously working with these guys at under 21, what's the big difference between when you were coming up and them? Is there a massive difference? Because you see a lot of ex-pros and stuff talk about it and say in their day, obviously they used to scrub the boots of the seniors and stuff. So
in my day,
is it a lot different now? Yeah, it's your day.
Listen, it is different. I can't lie. Like I said, but show them like the jobs that they're talking about, like it was character building that, and what we actually used to like love it. You're cleaning a first team player's boots, or you're getting money at Christmas for after them a little Christmas bonus, and like jobs, being accountable, for just learning really, and that it came from Sir Alex. I know the world's changed now, football's changed now, but yeah, they don't listen. But then on the flip side, the amount of detail that they get now, homework, the stuff that they get given to them, it's a lot of information to become, and it's all for them to the best. And that's the one thing I've learned actually is being around the coaches, is that I feel like I need to ring some of my old coaches and say thank you, because you don't realise the hours and the time they put in for us to be professional footballers.
Yeah.
You know, we come in, you have your breakfast, you know, you do your 2-hour session, you go home, you know, and these guys are there from 7:30 till 5 o'clock, you know, 6 o'clock, you know, doing all the video analysis, every little detail to make you the best you can be. That's the difference I've seen.
Nice. So when you were at Carrington Light, and obviously you graduated, obviously went to seniors to first team, what was the first thing you done when you got that paycheck, bro?
Yeah,
you know when that came through? Because listen, we all know how it goes. You're a Man United player. I know how you're walking around town. Do you know what I'm trying to say? What was it like when you got that paycheck, though?
I wouldn't have got an Audi R8, but
let me zoom. The 4 rings.
Audi R8, you know.
Yeah, but the thing was, I had to hide it from Sir Alex.
Oh, God.
Because you would have heard from Rio and Gaznev and all them and Roy Keane. If I turned up in that and I'd not played at least one season in the team, I'd have got hammered. I'd have come out and my car be gone. So yeah, I had my other car, which is my normal car, and then I used to leave my R8 at my apartment. And then obviously finish training, go home, I'll switch my car. Driving around town all day thinking I was sick. But yeah, that was kind of, I'd say that was my first memory of my first check.
What would you do with your first check if you United
probably would have got the matching R8. It would have been me and Danny pulling up in Manny, brother. But do you know what? Yeah, one thing I saw. I mean, we watched the David Beckham documentary, and we saw how much Sir Alex Ferguson's influence literally contributed to a lot of the players' success as well. When you saw players who were like the Rios and Rooneys and the Roy Keanes that you speak of have the utmost respect for Alex Ferguson, do you feel like that's something that allowed you to have that respect as much as, you know, listening to what he's got to say and having that fear factor? Do you think that helped you with your career and how drilled in you was?
Yeah, and not just the utmost respect for Sir Alex, utmost respect for them players you just mentioned, Rio, Wazza, Roy Keane. These players, these players I didn't realise at the time probably helped me have a good career just by being around them and seeing how they looked up to Sir Alex and how they handled themselves, how every day, how much the winners. And when you're around winners, you can only take that from them. You don't even realise. You know, it was every day in training. You had to win. It was like I say, it was ferocious. You had to be on it. And when you were around them, and then you go off, you know, maybe you leave United, which I did, and then you go into different environments, you don't realise that you're kind of being like how they used to be, and then you're hoping that you can pass that on. But yeah, like I said with Sir Alex, it was utmost respect what he did, how he handled himself, the man that he is, and the manager that he was. To me, was invaluable.
So obviously, when you came through, you were there from 2003 to 2006. That was when you were at Carrington. What players did you come up with? I was trying to do my research. I couldn't find it. I was like, I couldn't find anyone, bro.
There's some good ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'd say the main one was PK.
That's a madness. That's a name drop.
Yeah, listen, I think what happened was, I think when we was year 11, like under 16s, finding out about going full time, there's only a couple of boys that got contracts, and we signed a lot of foreigners. There was like Giuseppe Rossi.
Oh yeah.
So that was like my, at the time, under 17. So they were the two.
They were cold.
That come over like, wow,
Levels.
guys are sick.
Yeah.
I'm this little guy from Salford, you know, and you got PK centre back doing all kinds of flicks and that. I mean, that's not the centre backs I see. You know what I mean? Centre backs running through people, and PKs are technically the best out of us all, like striker wise, everything. But yeah, I'd say them two mainly. There's other lads that maybe didn't go on to high levels, but definitely them two. But up the years above me, years below, you know, it was Fraser Campbell, Gibson, Johnny Evans, Shawcross, Phil Bardsley. You know, it was like a good 4 or 5 years of lads that went on and had great careers. Welbeck was up playing higher, you know, so the list goes on.
That's what Carrington has slept on, I think. Like when it comes to how many players it produces just to go play in the Prem. You know, sometimes people think just because it's not in the actual club that it's a failure. But bro, he just named many players that have long Premier League careers. Shawcross has his own legacy in the Prem. Innit?
That's a Stoke legend. What are you talking about? Like, but what I wanted to know, Danny, was what was it like though? Because you know, you say a lot of players didn't make it and get the professional contracts. Like, what was it about you guys, apart from the talent, that allowed you to get those contracts? And what do you reckon Sir Alex or the coaches saw in you guys that said, you know what, these guys are ready?
I think. Listen, you was at Man United, so you had some ability, obviously, but I think it was the mentality. I think for me personally, that's what helped me have a good career, because I weren't as good as some of them players. Well, I know I wasn't, but I worked harder, and I had to. But then I had people like, I'm looking at Wes Brown, Gary Neville. Obviously, the fullbacks changed now. Like back then, fullback was what it was. You know what I mean? It's gone on to all kinds of levels now. Like insides, we'll talk about that later. But I'm watching every day Gary Neville, Phil Neville, you know, Wes Brown, these fullbacks. You know, Gabby Heinz. I was watching him. The way even him as a fullback, how hard he was in a tackle. And then when you're watching them and you're thinking, right, if I can be and work as hard as them, because that's what they're doing, because technically maybe they're not as good as some of the other boys, then I've got half a chance. And Gary Neville actually always used to say, if you're 7 out of 10 every week, you know, as a manager's what I trust you. There's no point being the man of the match 1 week and then a 4 the next week. If you could be reliable, he said you've got half a chance, because fullback then was do your job first, anything else is a bonus. And I think that's the stuff I was learning and listening from them kinds of players.
What a list of players you just named. Because if you look at like Wes Brown, people forget that's a Champions League winner. Two-time with an assist as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I think I've had the luxury of speaking to him a lot. Like that's my guy. And he always used to say, he goes, the way I wanted it was more than anyone. And you can see with the way he played as well. And if you're speaking about Neville as well, one of the most consistent right backs in Prem history. That doesn't really get the plaudits just because you know his punditry is a bit dodgy sometimes. You know what I'm trying to say?
And he downplays himself a lot.
No, I'm joking. Like Gary's
it's too much, man. Too much.
Whenever I see him, I always say to him, I say, you are incredible. You was an incredible player, and without him, I don't think a lot of the success that we have happens. So yeah, shout out to Gary.
I was watching MUTV yesterday, as you do. I'm a United fan. It happened to be on, and there was a game, and I don't know if he listens, but he was about to come off in the Champions League game, and then Wes Brown was getting stripped to come on first half. Well, mad that the story's coming up, and he changed his mind and said, "Nah, I'm all right. Whatever's happened." So Wes put his jumper back on. Honestly, I think I might have recorded it, and he goes through and he ends up in the box and he scores, you know. And I just will come to my head then, because he scored I think it was his second Champions League goal. There's no celebration, just anger. Just angry. Like,
that's Gary Neville. I can't lie.
He just scored the Champions League, but I don't know whether it was because he was just about to get dragged off. I don't know. But it's just funny because it was on MUTV yesterday. I think because obviously Champions Leagues, kind of stuff. It shows old games, and I was watching it. So yeah, that was just a funny story.
Obviously, you were at United during the golden era. We're gonna get into that, like you were in and around it. But quickly, before we move on from like the early stages and stuff, Man United have a talent right now that everybody's talking about, and his name is Kobbie Mainoo. Right? Have you seen him up front and seen him actually playing? Because obviously, I know he was at under 18s. He only played one game, I think, with the 21s, I believe. But what's the noise around him around the club?
Yeah, look, I think I seen him. First time I seen him, like maybe like a lot of us, was up in Edinburgh. Was it Leon? I think we played Leon. I think because Johnny Evans might have played that game as well. Yeah, it was Leon, and I was like, wow, it was this kid. He got in the ball, wanted the ball all the time in all the areas, confident. and then obviously, unfortunately, he got injured, didn't he, against Madrid? Was it Madrid?
Yeah, in the pre-season.
And obviously, he's coming back now. So, and obviously, like people like him and N'Golo, a lot of them players, they're with the first team.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I think they'll drop in now and again. So yeah, and he's just come back from injury. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to see what he's like day to day in training. But like I said, the players I mentioned there, they're like I said, they're always pretty much with the first team, training every day with them. So I'm not getting to see him. But again, N'Golo's the same. These are two young, bright young centre midfielders that we've got to look to, because Man United is always all about bringing youngsters through. And we're doing it kind of now with Garnacho and Hannibal. And I think maybe that's what we need, more of them, because that's the DNA.
Yeah, I think that's what's been missing, is those homegrown players that are elite. Because I feel like we had it with like Ravel, we had it with Pogba. These are players that, like, obviously Ravel's career could have gone on to better heights, but we saw what Pogba was able to achieve, and that's Manchester's very own. If you think about it, we got him early doors. I have watched a bit of Kobbie, and I just think he oozes class. Like I feel like he knows how good he is without saying anything. So I hope that he has a very fruitful career.
And when he, obviously, around the training ground, I've been there, he's dead polite, well-mannered, says hello, and I'm not saying, listen, that's how it should be, but it ain't always like that.
Yeah. But
he seems just like a down-to-earth kid. Dan's the same. And yeah, hopefully we'll get to see more of them this season, but sometimes you need the team to be playing well for them to come. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
when we got a chance to get our game here and there.
The team was already popping, innit? Yeah.
So it was kind of not easier because it's hard to play for United, but it wasn't as difficult maybe as it is now.
Yeah. So obviously, you played, as I mentioned before, it was actually the golden era. You know what I mean? That was the most successful period we've ever had, when there was Ronaldo and all that. What was that like, man? I know obviously you didn't get as many minutes as you would have probably wanted to, but just being in and around Wayne Rooney, and we mentioned Rio and Ronaldo and stuff, what was that like? Like just the level of Manchester United at that period?
That's why I couldn't get games. that second 11 would have won the league. Do you know what I mean? Like, but listen, and it's tough, man. It was tough. At the same time, like I said, it was amazing to be around them players every day. But at the same time, it was frustrating, man, because they were so good. But to see, like I said, these players we're talking about now, legends, and even at the time, like, Scholesy was a joke, man.
Yeah, like, that's his favourite player.
Can I be honest? On my heart of hearts, I was gonna mention Scholesy, but I was like, I say this too much. The fact that you said it, done, man, done.
I know this from love Ronaldo. I love Wazza, I love Ronaldo, but Scholesy's something else. If you was on his team, you won. Put it that way in training. But yeah, I said the levels were amazing. Like I said, it's why United were, even like, honestly, Rio, all of them, it was like they were just pushing each other every day, and that's what it was about. Like, if you're up against Ronaldo every day, you're centre mid against Fletcher's, Darren Fletcher, who's a good friend, playing against Paul Scholes every day, you have to up your game. I'm marking Ryan Giggs. I'm like, this is Giggsy, mate. Every day, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to make you and that, and he'll banter you for days if he does. So, I said the levels are crazy, and I said it was all about pushing each other. And sometimes, it can come from Sir Alex, but I think a lot of that came from within. Came from the players pushing each other, like, internally. Yeah,
obviously Ronaldo went on to be what he was, but when he was at the club, obviously he had that Ballon d'Or season, which was unreal at Man United. But did you actually envision him becoming this, like, GOAT conversation, like one of the greatest players ever? Because you just mentioned, like, still, regardless, Scholes was the one. But now, imagine you can't put Scholes and Ronaldo in the same conversation, with all due respect. Did you see that coming?
Nah, I didn't. Like we knew he had the ability, but it's his mentality that got him to why he's still doing what he's doing. His work ethic. Just when we see him, he dribble and he do all this and he'd frustrate people, do it in the wrong places. And then he learnt very quickly to do it in the right places. And he worked on his game. He's no joke. You probably heard it. He's out on the pitch. He's in the gym before, after. He came back one summer and he was just a machine. Like, what have you been eating? I want some of that. You know? But yeah, and that's why I know this debate Ronaldo Messi. There's no right answer. For me, obviously, it is Ronaldo because of, you know, he created him what he is. He worked on that every day. Left foot, right foot. Like, he couldn't use to head the ball. And now he's probably scored the most headers.
He has.
Is he? Yeah. He couldn't head it. So
that's crazy. Yeah.
That things like that. You know. So when you watch old videos of him to now, even now at his age,
it's like two different people.
Yeah, it's free. I think he's become free people. Yeah, it was scrawny Ronaldo with a noodle hair. Yeah. Then it was like, I remember that season. I think it was 06, 07. Yeah, he was different. 07, 08.
That might have been a
season. Yeah, 07, 08. He was just, that was. Yeah. You know when he used to take off his shirt and it was like that became the meme, like
racing Bugattis and all that.
Then Real Madrid to Juventus era was, and then now we're seeing like the final four. Yeah. I think he scored 400 goals. After being 30.
30, yeah.
Which is more than
some people's careers. Yeah. Legends' careers as well, like full-blown legends.
He's got more international goals than people have got international caps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you've got to give him a lot of credit, and some people don't.
Nah, it's the truth.
But he's still scoring.
Yeah, so obviously, moving on from, like, Man United. Oh, actually, lastly, did Fergie say anything? There's anything that Fergie's ever said to you that left, like, a lasting imprint on your career? Good because question. You know, often you get a manager and you get the players that maybe don't break through to be like 50 games, 100 games. So sometimes managers don't have that relationship. But did he leave you with any lasting kind of like impression or any words?
I left in a bit of a strange way because I went on loan to Newcastle. But that summer, I didn't go on a pre-season tour. So when you don't go on the tour, like you get in, you know,
it's time.
It's time, and then you got the twins that came in, who were fantastic. And I was thinking, nah, it's not going to work for me. But Newcastle, massive club. So when I actually signed full time for Newcastle, I was already at the club. So I didn't actually get to say goodbye. And I hated that. Because even just like, you know, the training ground, you know you're leaving. You go and see other boys. Like, lads, I'm going to do a medical. You go and see the manager. And I actually never got to do that.
Damn.
And the only time I really saw him next was one of the games we played, which I do remember. And I cleared one off the line against Chicharito of Newcastle. We drew 1-1. And he clipped me around the ear hole in the tunnel, bro. Because it was like 92nd minute, and obviously I stopped. Obviously, United getting 3 points, but he was always just obviously with the young boys. You know, he was always say, if you ever needed me, you know where I am. You can pick up the phone. I don't know many that would have, just because he scares us all. But he was just, like I said, he was like a father to a lot of us.
Yeah, that's nice. Obviously, you mentioned Newcastle. You won the championship at Newcastle. So was that where you finally started feeling settled as like a professional footballer?
Yeah, it was like I struggled to leave United. It was, like I said, you think you're gonna play there forever when you've been there since you was like 12. But yeah, it was like a new home. 50,000 fans. The players that I was playing with, you know, like Kev Nolan, Joey Bart, and these kind of guys that you got to learn off because they're like seasoned pros. Alan Smith, Nicky Butt, which was good because they came from United. So it was a challenge because of all the nonsense that was going around Newcastle to get back up to where they belong. So I walked into a club that needed to win, and I just left a club that had
always
to win.
Yeah.
So it was kind of perfect really for my next phase.
So obviously at Newcastle, when would you say with that season that you went up though, was there a moment there where you were like kind of like, this is it, like you're gonna stay at Newcastle? Or did you always have like ambitions to go elsewhere? But I know you ended up at QPR after that, but were you looking up after that, like after Newcastle, while you were at Newcastle?
Do you know what it was? No, when we got promoted, I was then just thinking, I need to become an established Premier League player. There's only so many times we can keep saying he's got potential. You know, you don't want to keep slipping. And I had an injury, and eventually I got into a good place with a great team, by the way. We'll name some of the players I played with at Newcastle, like Ben Arthur.
Hey, talk to me about Ben Arthur real quick.
Yeah, because
talk to me about Ben Arthur real quick.
The North African players we say are one of the most talented in the world.
Guess who he played with at QPR?
Ben Rama?
No,
Ben Rama. So no, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Come on, streets would never forget.
No. Taraps, that's it.
There we go.
Taraps.
I actually want to know quickly, who was more techie, bro? Who's more techie, Ben Arthur or Tarap? Because honestly, the streets need to know this one. I need an answer and I need a reason.
Nah, it's hard, you know. Ben Arthur's my guy, innit? Like, we spent one good season together, right back, right wing. And I'll go into, but he actually helped me end up the way I worked with Riyad Mahrez in the end. We'll get to that. But Adele, on his day, he could just be a magician, innit? Yeah, he would do. Adele would do like crazy things, crazy tricks in training and in games. But for me, you're killing me.
Yeah, we want. I feel like I know what you want to say, but where your heart's at.
Yeah, listen. Like I said, to play with him for that year. You know, I feel actually quite grateful and blessed that I played with such a quality player that we should have seen more of. Adele, again, should have been producing what he's producing that year in the Championship, in the Premier League. And for years, because he had everything. The balance, I don't even want to say it because I hate putting like that's the damn balance.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
It's nonchalant.
So yeah, I'm gonna sit on the fence. No, sorry, bro. Then I've got Riyad in it. Then Riyad's in there. So
you played with like literally the
silkiest of North African players
that's
Prem seen.
mad, you know.
That's actually a crazy thing, and you say it already. That helps you with speak about Riyad after, but playing with those players, what is it about it that made it so much easier for you? Because they trusted you to, I guess, overlap or for them to receive the ball from you. But what is it that it did for your game?
What it was, it's just like, again, back to the United, the way the old fullback was, is I love defending. Like, when you see strikers that are scoring goals, I love defending at the back post, clearing off the line, smashing my winger. And I loved then doing my job knowing that these players who have got all this mad ability, I'll give them the ball. And I'll encourage them behind them. Go on, get at him, do him. And if it don't work out, I'll tell him again, do it again. And I think I was a good fit, to keep pushing them. Go on, just do what you do. And I'll overlap, not really for me to cross it, for you to cut in. And I just used to watch them, give them the ball because they knew I'll do my job at the back behind them. And it didn't always have to be that wing because we needed them up there. So it kind of always balanced out quite right.
At QPR, I was actually working at QPR when you were at QPR, so I remember. Yeah.
They told me that you said hello to you, and you said,
"Nah." I said hello. You heard me, bro. You wasn't like a kid in The Incredibles. Now I'm growing up. I'm after you now. But so I was working in the community doing some coaching. I think you know Dan Edwards.
Yes,
you know Dan Edwards. Yeah. That's like my mentor, that's my boy. Yeah.
We're with that, man.
So we were. So I remember you at QPR. So that was a good season though, as well. Was that the promotion season? Or was it the season in the Premier League?
Playoff.
It was the playoff one. Yeah. So that was a good year as well. You enjoyed that in QPR?
Yeah.
Down to London. What was that like as well?
He said,
man said it was rough.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it sucked me in a little bit. I can't lie. Listen, it was, and you know what, when you're winning as well, the lads, good group. We had a London Tuesday club in it, so if we had no midweek game, there'd be quite a lot of us. We'd go out and enjoy London.
Libs, tape.
Snitch with who? Who's the other boys? Snitch on him.
Snitch on him.
It's alright, man.
No. Nah, because some of them are married and that. No, joke. But no, say, on a serious note though, a year was probably enough.
Yeah.
In London, I love the city. But yeah, that team, I said it was a great team. He signed, it was like me, signed Charlie Austin, Matty Phillips, but then they already had the boys, a bit like Newcastle again, but Joey Barton again, Richard Dunn,
Clint Hill,
like these guys, Andy Johnson, Nathan Manua, seasoned players who again wanted to get back to the big time. So, and to do it at Wembley. Yeah, playoff final. Bobby Zamora, last minute. Gary O'Neill,
great memories.
Now managing.
Icon, Bobby Zamora.
He's done it a couple of times. Even I've seen Gary O'Neill on Monday Night Football, and he took one for the team that day. He got a red card.
Oh yeah.
60th minute because the guy's going through. Yeah, Derby. And what obviously he's doing an amazing job now. But to win in the last minute at Wembley, what more could you want? Like, it was mad.
That's the stuff of dreams. I think whenever you see a playoff win, it just feels as if like you've just conquered whatever fear you probably had, because it is such a massive stage. Like when you go into those games, it's probably different to what you've experienced, I guess, with Newcastle, because you guys got promoted. Yeah. But a playoff, what's the nerves like going into that? Because that's probably like the scariest moment of your career, I guess.
They call it the richest game in football as well.
Yeah, it's 150 M's.
I'll tell you now that it's the toughest game I've ever played in. I'll be honest. And there's a lot I've played like, in terms of what you would think. But I'm telling you now, it was the toughest game because it's not. I know I'm not played the FA Cup final, but like them kind of games, you're playing that one game for a medal and for history and for your legacy. This game, you're playing for the staff. People are gonna get jobs. You get promoted, people are going to get wage rises. The wages are going to go up. You're going to get more jobs. The fans, the changes, it's 12 months of change. You win the FA Cup or you lose the FA Cup, don't change the next year of people's lives. But getting promoted from the Championship to the Premier League changes lives. And you feel it, it's mad. Like, you just feel the pressure. It just comes down to that one game. Where it changes not just mine, your families, the fans, and everyone at the club. So it is a big pressure game.
I'm not gonna lie, I got a £300 bonus. Did you? That changed my life.
Let's ask.
I was only 17, bro.
What did you spend that £300 on? What did she spend on £300?
Probably travel lodge and you say too much, but honestly,
travel lodge. Just plug that in there.
But so you went to Leicester after that, after QPR, I believe, and then at Leicester I didn't start too well, and I saw you speak about it on another podcast. But just in case anyone hasn't seen that podcast, why didn't it start well, and what actually happened? Because I know Delight was playing ahead of you, but you said a story about how you kind of got like pushed to the side, banished in a way. What was that all about?
Yeah, the first year I knew I was going there into an environment where that team was so strong, so cliquey. Me and Nigel, we had our ups and downs, so to speak.
Nigel Pearson, right?
Yeah.
Listen, he's a madman,
Yeah, listen,
I personally, I always felt like he didn't like black people, but love.
Listen, I actually got on. It was a weird relationship. We get on, then he wouldn't, but I know I could always call him now if I needed help. I couldn't get in a team. It's frustrating. You're in the 21s and just didn't really work. And then obviously he left, and Claudio comes in. He says the same. Don't want you. And I don't know if these people know this, but the year we won the league, I was with the kids, banished with the kids for at least 2 months. Didn't see the first team. Didn't want, trying to get. They said I could lead the club. I said, nah, I ain't going anywhere. I'm gonna fight. I want to work hard. I'm not gonna give you any excuses. And then you talked about the lad there, and we were conceding goals, and Claudio pulled me in the office and basically said, listen, I'm gonna apologise man to man. My decision in pre-season was wrong. I like your attitude. Things could change. Keep doing what you're doing. And then we conceded 5 against Arsenal.
5-2, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and pulled me in on a Monday and said, you better get ready because you're playing next week. And I'd not played for God knows how long, but I was working hard, I was keeping my head down, and the rest is history.
Ten Hag and Sancho, are you watching?
Are you there?
Are you watching?
Can you see what he did?
This is an example, bro. Banished to win the league. Come on, man. How much more of an example do you need?
Would you say, though, it's the fundamentals that you've learnt from obviously working at Man United, then going to Newcastle, and then obviously QPR being promoted? Was that the reason why you was able to continue? Because this is probably like make or break for your career as well, and it ended up being one of your proudest moments. But would you say with your fundamentals, what you learnt was why you was able to do that?
100%. Never give up. Literally, just because someone doesn't maybe as an opinion right now, you can change it. And another thing is, don't give them an excuse. Like for me, if I'm talking about me, when he said go with the kids, we don't want you. Like if I go over there and start sulking, turning up late, sacking it off. Listen, I've got these are young 21s now, 19, 20-year-olds watching me, watching my attitude. It stinks. What message is that to them? And I thought, I ain't gonna give you an easy way out. Of saying that's why I've put it in. And it did. It come from, like I said, we keep mentioning the names like Rio, Wazza, Gary Neville. All these kind of players. Patrice, he was very good for me when I was coming through. I'm working hard and never giving up, and always looking in the mirror, going, you know what? I gave everything, and also as well, just because they don't want you, doesn't mean, like I said, you can't change their minds. So, thankfully, I did that, and I got in the team, and we were on a great run, and I played my part.
Okay, so let's talk about that season then, the good parts of that season. First and foremost, at the start, I feel like people forget that the year before, I think Cambiasso was at the club, and you guys ended the season brilliantly. Leicester ended the season brilliantly, ended up staying up. It was kind of like this great escape in a way. So maybe it kind of carried on, even though the season didn't start the greatest, but it kind of carried on a little bit. With that moment, like, there was also some moment that I want to talk about because I think there's conspiracy here, right? Yeah. Oh, wow. There's a conspiracy here, right? Wow. Firstly, all the players are a little bit too charged up, yeah? First and foremost. But man were coming back from hamstring injuries in 1 week. Well, we won't talk about that. But there was this guru or monk or whatever he was, a Thai monk that came and spoke to you lot at the beginning of the season, prayed over you lot or something, and Leicester go and win the league that same year, 5,000 to 1.
Judge.
Who was that guy, bro? And what did he do to you?
Where is he now?
What was that all about? Because I need to talk about that.
Bro, if I could find that guy, I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna kill himself now. Nah, listen, no, that was just their tradition, Leicester tradition. That, but now you're right. It started from the Great Escape. I think we had 9 games, and we won 7 of them to stay up.
Yeah.
And it basically just gave us that like F you attitude to other teams and no respect. And, it was like, and the shackles were off, and then we just carried it on into the season after, obviously with loads of help. But now back to that. You're chatting shit.
Cavs was adamant.
Bro, I'm telling you, Kante came back from a hammy in 1 week, bro. Mahrez came back from a hammy in 1 week. I was like, yo.
No, N'Golo was a freak.
Yeah. So playing with those players, N'Golo's first season in the Premier League, Riyad as well, and then obviously Jamie Vardy, those were like the standout players that we all was like, wow, during that season. During pre-season, did you see those players and think, these guys are next level? And what was that like, having those players in that team? Was it like a boost of confidence? the trust that you had in them as well in order to deliver every game?
Nah, do you know what it was? Like, even like N'Golo, like, until we, in training that, we didn't really get to see what we've ended up seeing until he played a game and we were just like, wow, who's this? Like, where's this kid come from? And like, honestly, yeah, he's up there in my top 3, top 5 of players I played with.
Wow.
I'm telling you now, because he was that good and that good for us. You know, Vards. Listen, I was a fullback, yeah, so listen, that little clip down the line, yeah.
Cash money, yeah. Cash it in.
You know, he turned a bad ball into a good ball. But no, I said, and then Riyad, like, I saw Riyad when I first come, and I knew he had, you know, he's still a key player. But at the time, Anthony Knockout was probably...
Yeah, he was the big boy at the club, yeah.
And then Riyad just got his head down, practiced. You know what he did practice, actually? I don't know. I'll let you lead where you want to lead it. Because he's left-footed, cutting in all the time. And he practiced going on his right. I seen him every day after training, going on his right foot. And so he could go both ways. And that's why he was so hard to play against. And as a team, we just, I said, confidence, and we just gelled. And them players I just mentioned, they just flourished. And
was Riyad's touch always incredible? Because for me, I think he's got probably the best touch in world football right now.
Do you think he has the best touch in Prem ever?
Facts.
Berbatov.
What about Bergkamp?
Yeah, for me, I've seen Berbatov kill footballs. Yeah. I thought they were flat. Like I've seen him do that.
The difference then is they'll drop it dead. Riyad will take it
in floating. I fully agree.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Fully agree.
Yeah.
They couldn't do that because Riyad will wait, bang.
Yeah.
And he'll wait to the last second to either go inside or take it forward.
Yeah.
And you don't know, but he'll wait to the last little millisecond to decide where I'm about to push this first touch.
I think my favourite goal from Riyad was the goal against Chelsea.
Yeah,
he killed that ball and sent everyone shopping. Like, it was just wow.
Yeah.
And I think that for me was why, you know, his career at Man City was obviously incredible. And I think people don't know how important he was to that City team on the right hand side. Probably one of the best right wingers that we've had in the league. Yeah. What was the moment in that season that you guys started to believe? Because you said that the season didn't really start too well, but when did it start going, all right, well, we've got a bit of momentum here and we're becoming giant killers?
Every second it was, Leicester are going to fall off. Leicester are going to fall off. And then it just kept going. And Vardy was scoring he scored 11 games in a row.
Well, even that, I feel like we wanted him to score just to him to get that record, not really thinking about winning.
You guys were just on banter, innit? You guys was having fun.
It was buzzing for him, innit? Like, yes, he's going to beat Van Nistelrooy's record.
Yeah.
Van Nistelrooy, right?
Yeah. I'm hating, by the way.
Buzzing. And it was mad for me because it was against United.
Yeah.
So I know. You know what I mean? Obviously, my favourite games were against United.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the way that Fuchs puts him in, he runs through, he blasts it, and I swear it was like I scored. It was like we all scored.
Everyone celebrated crazy, innit?
Yeah, it was mad. You've probably seen it, and I think that things, little moments like that, probably are like we didn't realise what we were building within our training ground. But I think the City game.
Yeah, that game. Etihad won.
Yeah. We sat there and afterwards was like, wow, we're decent. Like, we're actually all right. And I think there was moments as well where I feel like we come from behind, got a point, which felt like a win. Whereas, like, look at last season with Arsenal, they was winning and dropped points. Yeah. So even though they got a point, it felt like you'd lost.
Yeah.
Whereas we had moments where we were losing and got a point, got a last-minute penalty, and you come in the dressing room and you feel like you've won and you're buzzing, and you just feel like it's your time.
That is. Do you still sometimes like just be like, I won the league with Leicester? Like, do you guys ever have that moment? Because I feel like everyone talks about it. Fans, we seem more excited. Every like Leicester player that I see talk about it, kind of just. They don't really talk about it with such excitement that I would expect.
For me, yeah, because I'm just a little kid from a council estate, like, who dreamed of playing for United. and wanted to win the Premier League, and to do it with Leicester. You know, from my upbringing, from working hard, everything, to come to that moment was like, you know what I mean? It was a dream, man. So even now feels like a dream talking about it. So yeah, for me, like I said, it's some times move on, but it was special, man.
What would you say the key behind it was? Was it like the team spirit? Was it certain players? What was the reason that happened?
Again, I think it was the team. We were like brothers, and I swear, people don't probably appreciate or realize how them little percent will make in a game. You know, being boys, you know, because you're fighting for your boy next to you, for your bro. Like me and Wes Morgan.
Yard Morgan.
Captain Morgan.
Morgan.
He's one of my best mates. Yeah. And all we did for 90 minutes was cuss each other. Yeah. Because we were pushing each other in it, and we were protecting each other, and we didn't want to let each other down. You know, things like that. So I think we all was a good, and we spent a lot of time off the pitch, which people aren't really allowed to do now. But back then we could get away with it because no one knew who we were.
What was Jamie Vardy like? What was it like playing with Jamie Vardy? Because from the outside looking in, he just seems like a madman, bro. This guy's kicking down.
WKD
flags.
vodka.
Yeah, this guy's
that's what we looked at him as.
Kicking down corner flags. He's always taunting the opposition.
Even now, I see him run the length of the pitch and do this.
Bro.
Oh, I love that, man. What a guy, man.
Like being
serious.
Like, is he somebody that you just felt like, I can go into the trenches with?
Yeah, listen, you're in. Well, when you're in the tunnel with him or the dressing room, like I said, you know what it is. I used to know I loved his goals, but I used to love it when he smashed a fullback.
Yeah.
You know, because he was better when he was angry. So effectively, we wanted to wind him up. People like Wazza, they were better when they were angry. They scored mad goals. So so when people are winding Jamie Vardy up, fans, the worst, I shouldn't even tell them this because they're not going to do it now, but don't wind him up because he'll punish you. So to play with him, like, you knew you're going into the trenches, you knew he's one of my boys.
There's obviously Kante, Mahrez won the Player of the Year that year. There's always a discussion about who should have won the Player of the Year. Obviously, all three of them could have won the Player of the Year, Kante, Vardy or Mahrez. But who was that one in the team that, between those three, that you thought, you know what, you're the one that got us this title? And who did you actually vote for, actually, in the Club Player of the Year, actually?
God damn.
I think I picked N'Golo.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought Vardy should have won it, man. I think Vardy party is what made Leicester believe.
Kante made every midfield player scared to have the ball.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think when I was watching Kante in that season, I just felt like, I used to say to my friends, watch, he'll get the ball. I think if we look at his ball recoveries in that season, it's probably one of the highest we've seen in Premier League history.
Vardy made no team play a highline. Nobody could play a highline.
Yeah.
Nobody could.
Nah, he's finishing. You see that bottom corner? That left bottom corner it got abused by Vardy was just moving crazy.
People underestimate his finishing, you know.
Yeah, it was.
There's some stat about Vardy's finishing. If the shot conversion rate in the last 8 years or something, Vardy's there 4 times.
Yeah.
No player's there more than once. Vardy's there 4 times. He's finishing at like 55%. It's mad, you know. It's crazy. He's finishing.
The distance N'Golo was covering and wrapping his legs around people. How he just tackled him, driving with the ball. Just the person that he was. Like, for me, he was the glue in there.
And obviously, Claudio Ranieri, you know, he must have been a big part of it. And he, in a way, had kind of like a redemption story as well. Obviously, a lot of people feel like maybe he was harshly sacked at Chelsea, but when Jose comes in, you can't really say too much, you know what I mean? But that was such an emotional season for him as well. You saw him crying and stuff, welling up. And what was it like working under him? And, you know, did you guys also, when you were going on the pitch, kind of want to do it for him? Like,
yeah, so for me, obviously... I'm gonna cough. Sorry, guys. For me, obviously, the way our relationship started weren't great, innit? So, obviously, for me, it was always obviously appreciating for putting me back in the team. But again, I learned actually so much from him defensively because he's Italian, innit? So they love defenders. So for me, I obviously wanted to prove and be like, I appreciate what you put me back in the team, and I want to do my best for you for actually being a man, putting me back in the team. You didn't have to do that. Not many people would have admitted the mistake. So yeah, we were all fighting for him, fighting for ourselves. And obviously, when the way it ended weren't nice, weren't great. It was tough. And maybe looking back, it might have been a bit hasty. I don't know. But that's the world we're in now with football. You know, you have success and then you can't sustain it. You know, because we had Champions League Saturday, Champions League, and we didn't know how to manage it. And it was tough for everybody. And it was sad the way it ended.
Yeah. Do you still have like connections with like the Leicester fans and the old teammates as well? Do you still talk? I know you just mentioned Morgan. Do you still talk to like Vardy and Mahrez and these type of guys? Drink water. I know he's had a bit of struggle since then, but do you still stay in contact with them and the fans and stuff?
I spoke to Drinky yesterday. Yeah. So you know, he was getting on. The boys, I was at the memorial. Don't know if you've seen.
Yes,
it's been 5 years.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about it.
5 years since that crash, which for me, I can't believe it's been 5 years.
That's incredible, man. That's crazy.
You know, even now, much it affects us. You know what he did for the club, and I seen all the boys then, which was nice to go back to the, you know, see everyone and the staff, and you know what it's like, man. Because it's not even just the players, you know, it's the staff.
Yeah,
the staff go through it with you, and the fans don't see that because they're behind the scenes. And going back, and you just see them all, and it's like the tea lady, all the receptionists and everybody. And it's just great to see everyone go back. But yeah, we're all still in a WhatsApp group.
Oh, nice.
So we're waiting for the 10-year reunion. Which is coming up, by the way, which again is scary.
That's mad, you know.
Yeah, it's coming up. What are we at now?
We got, so you guys won it at 15, 16.
Yeah,
so
2 more years.
It's going to be
3 more years, yeah.
Which is nuts.
Now, you guys produced one of the most like iconic celebrations, even though it wasn't on the pitch. Obviously, while you're watching the Battle of the Bridge, did you not say, listen, who had the feeling that I was going to win? Because I was like, what made you guys decide, you know what, we're going to link up? Were you guys doing that?
Hazard must be your best player, no?
Were you guys doing that for every game in that period? Or
I'm not seeing him since I need to see him. Just give him a big hug. You know what I mean? Nah, do you know what? It was Vards. He'd, no, actually, tell a lie. We played Man United, remember, on a Sunday. And we were going to Old Trafford to win the game, which was mad for like me and Drinky because we started there. Yeah. And I'd organised a party after Old Trafford just in case we beat United. In one of the bars.
You got a result that game, right?
Yeah, we won.
Morgan.
If we won the game, we won the league.
Yes.
And we drew 1-1. Anyway, so then Vards, it was a bit of a letdown. So we didn't then, we cancelled the night, obviously, because we still got obviously things to do. And then Vards was like, nah, lads, we need to get to mine tonight in the group. Got a good feeling about this. And literally, straight in the car, back straight to his. And it was, I'd probably say, up there with one of the best nights of my life.
Hazard, man, he had an agenda that day for real.
Literally. I wanted to speak about, obviously, after football. I think all the time we see, like with ex-players, how, you know, difficult it is to kind of find something else that you've been doing. You know, you've been playing football all your life and you've been focusing on that. In your opinion, how difficult has the transition been from being a football player to where you are now as a coach? I know you've done a bit of punditry as well. But yeah, how's that been?
Tough, to be honest. Yeah, you're trying to, I said you lose routine. You know, it's something you've had all your life, and you're trying to do certain things. You know, the doors are getting shut in your face, and you're like, wow, like I was quite successful. You know what I mean? I'm a normal kid from a normal background, a tough upbringing, and then you're trying to do stuff, and you know things ain't quite working out. And you don't know what to do. You're waking up some days like, so basically your teammates are training, or your ex-teammates, and your mates at work, and you just don't really know what to do yourself. And I said, I don't know. Listen, I'll speak for many players, and I always thought I was okay, and I would be okay, But nah, honestly, I'm not even gonna be around. It's tough.
And obviously now with the coaching side of things, with your number one love, which is football, is that giving you like a new lease of life, so to speak, and being able to give back probably some information that you probably was given and help shape other young players' careers as well?
Well, you just hit the nail on the head, because this is where I feel I've got a bit of purpose at the moment, is to give back. I've been there. Listen, I've had suicidal thoughts, and I wanna. United have been so good to me. Giving me an opportunity with the TV. Being in. I'm starting a psychology degree for the PFA in a couple of weeks, and it's about mentoring. And I want to help these young boys who actually now will probably find it tough because of Instagram, the money they get, the attention they get. They're not all gonna make it. It's tough, and I want to try and help them, and it'll actually probably help me. Do you get me? So yeah, I said I've got a great opportunity to help these young players, and that's my drive at the moment.
Do you think football clubs do enough to help, one, retired players, and two, youth players who have been released?
No.
What can change?
No, because once you're not under contract and you're not their player anymore, unless you've got a very good relationship with them, or some of the staff that are still there, then you're gone. It's about the next players that the group that they've got now. I can't speak for everyone, because Leicester are still good with me. I could talk about other clubs that I think are good with their ex-players. For example, I see how West Ham are with Anton, Marlon, Harewood,
Carlton Cole.
Yeah, Carlton Cole. Is it
Collins?
Collins.
Yeah.
The way they, because I'm on their Instagrams, and I always see how what they're trying to do with them, and always including them, because they know how valuable they are to the next generation, and I don't think enough clubs do that. If I'm honest with you.
Mad.
Shout out Anton in the building as well.
Yeah.
Got his new hairline.
Yeah.
About time.
No, we both got it, bro. We're both doing it. Listen, I'm doing the same thing, bro. Nah, okay. Everyone knows about my new hairline. Yeah, it lasts for 3 days.
It's about time, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Danny Simpson.
I never went past the halfway line. I'm nice.
Well, listen,
we got a few more questions.
Yeah,
a few more questions. These are just going to be some quick fire ones. You can expand on them if you want. So we always want to ask just a couple of fun questions at the end. Who's the best player you've ever played with?
Yeah,
you've got a decent list,
I said I think I'm with Harry here. Scholesy. Innit?
Come on, my boy, man.
You played with Ronaldo.
But Paul Scholes is the controller.
I love Scholes.
It's because he hasn't met him yet. Don't know what? Let me introduce you to him. It might change your view.
Let me.
I'll call Paul now.
I love that.
Paul Scholes, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And best player you've played against?
There's a few. I think the best player I played against in terms of what he's done was Bale. But the toughest opponent was Coutinho when he was doing madness at Liverpool. I couldn't get near him.
Yeah.
And it's not because he was running past me, he was just too clever. Getting in the pockets and the half turn, coming off the wing, running in behind, his movement, his sharpness, and everything I did was wrong. And for 90 minutes, I was just questioning myself. I went home a broken man. And yeah, it was a tough day, and it was at Anfield as well, a place I hate going. So tough. His best player was Bale, but toughest opponent was Coutinho.
Right. And who's your football idol growing up?
For me, it was probably Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roy Keane. And just generally, I think I just used to watch Class of '92, and obviously for obvious reasons, just wanted to be one of them. And it's funny enough, we mentioned before, but we went into the first team dressing room when you first time as a full-time player. So Alex would say, "Oh, who do you want to meet?" And I actually said Wes Brown.
What?
I know, bro.
What?
I know.
Hey, Wes, I love you, but come on.
Nah, because he was just...
He saw the mix race and said, "Yeah, love."
Yeah.
Trying to be like you, bro.
He's a money boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yes, if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Roy Keane, just because Man United captain and what he did for the club.
Yeah. What would you say your biggest career regret was?
Not trying to stay at Leicester. Ricardo came in, and my ego didn't. I should have basically accepted maybe being a backup to him. And because I'd played week in, week out for years, won the league, my ego wouldn't allow it. And I left. Well, it was Brendan, and I could have, it was Brendan Rodgers, and then maybe I could have fought and said, listen, happy to take a wage cut, be a good egg in the dressing room, be an experienced player, let Ricardo do his thing. And I didn't, I left, and it went downhill from then.
Yeah, nice. And, well, not nice, actually.
Yeah.
Not nice. But last question. If you can make a five-a-side team out of the players that you have played with, no goalkeepers, because nobody cares about goalkeepers, with all due respect.
Shout out Casper. Yeah, shout out Casper.
Well, he's cool, but we don't want to see goalkeepers. Who would your five be?
Oh, this is mad. Scholes, obviously.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Scholes, Rio, Riyad.
That's three.
Oh no, way you can.
Three. That's some players.
All world class, by the way.
Players. Attack. Ronaldo. And N'Golo.
That's a mad team, you know. Rio,
That might be
Scholes,
one of the
N'Golo,
best
Ronaldo.
you could ever get in
Riyad.
terms of everything.
It's
got everything.
Yeah, in terms of everything. Everyone can pass.
Yeah. Ronaldo for the goals, Kante for the tackling, Rio at the back, Scholes controlling.
Yeah, that's it.
And Riyad just five-a-side balling, you know how it goes. Yeah. That's a mad one, you know.
Well, guys, I'm sure you guys have enjoyed this episode. This has been the one and only Danny Simpson. Appreciate you for rolling through.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Nah, it's been a pleasure, and I hope people can take from what he's told us as well. It was a very honest interview.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best with your new role, coaching, and obviously with the psychology stuff you're doing at the PFA. Hopefully that all goes well.
Thank you.
But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments who you want next, because we're trying to do Inside Scoop Meets, and this is our second one. So like, comment, and subscribe. Click that notification bell, and you're notified when we upload. Peace. Shout out to Anton's new hairline.